Okay, a month after he has his chat with Halloran, what's going on in the hotel? They're all by themselves because that was closing day, so everyone left. So it's a month. They've been living alone for a month. Here's Danny in his tricycle, a red, white, and blue. He's a good old American boy, good old American Stanley Kubrick, who thinks that we actually go to the moon and everything because he's nice and innocent. Anyways, here we go. Here's the pool table now. Notice it's the little hole where just the white ball comes out. So the pool table has been flipped. So everything that happens here is a mirror metaphor. You know what I mean? This is not reality. It's a mirror of what reality is. So what does Danny do? Actually, just there's a better shot of it right there. The white hole. Remember I told you it was when they first came in with the people with the luggage in the hotel. It was a big black hole where all the balls come. This is just where the white. So the table has been flipped. It's mirror imaged of what it was before. So this is a signal from Kubrick. And nobody's gonna lug a 700-pound table and rotate it accidentally. You know, Kubrick is definitely sending a message here. All right, here's your yellow VW Bug. Only car in the Hall Hotel. Everybody has left. Okay, Wendy, the food provider, coming from, I don't know where she's coming from, but she's going through the gold room doors. Interesting that this is all nice and well lit, but the hotel is not lit. It's like, why light this one and not light that one? So, anyways. And here's Danny again, the tricycle. And, oops, sorry. There we go. I took a few extra shots. I do want you to notice the sculpture is still here because something interesting is going to happen with the sculpture right here later on. But I just want to make sure you understand the sculpture is still here from when Halloran took them on their little tour of the hotel. There you can see it better. Okay. Now, no, but I've watched multitude of the Shining lectures that are on the internet, and nobody has ever said Wendy is Stanley Kubrick, just like Jack is Stanley Kubrick. Everyone has said Jack and Danny are Stanley Kubrick. Everyone has said it, but I believe I'm the first person. And you guys will have to tell me. Maybe there's another person, but I've never seen it, and I think I've seen quite a bit. And you'd think other people would have mentioned it, but this shot right here is actually one of the shots that really reinforces on top of everything else that I've said. We know for sure Wendy is Danny because of the mirroring when he was on the bed sick. So for sure we've already proved that Wendy is definitely connected to Danny more than just being his mother. And this shot right here, and we'll see a shot later on that's this exact same shot with Danny. Danny will be standing here and Jack will be in the mirror, and Kubrick is saying, the image of Jack is Wendy. You know what I mean? Jack and Wendy are the same people. This shot is specific. There's a reason for it, and we will see it again in a very traumatic scene with Danny. Danny will be in this doorway the next time we see it, and Jack will be in this mirror, and that's what everyone points to and says, oh, see, Jack and Danny are the same people, and I have no problem with that. But I do have a problem with people telling me Wendy is not Jack, and Wendy is not Stanley Kubrick. Not that I'm a transgender person, but I'm just saying. Also, look, she's wearing blue. You know what I mean? Why is she wearing a pink robe? I just noticed that right now. Although I think I noticed that a little bit before. Have her wear something? She looks like a man. You know what I mean here. Wendy is Stanley Kubrick. I will just keep on pounding that until you just go, oh yeah, that makes total sense. So here we go. Here comes Wendy, the food provider. She provides food in the car for her son. We'll get food at the hotel. She made sandwiches for her son. She's the food provider. I know mothers are supposed to do that, but we'll see. She does other stuff than provide food. Here they're both in the shot in the mirror. And what's interesting, watch this shot as you go. It's staying in the mirror. This is not a shot of the real Jack. This is the mirror Jack. by the way, this little thing is interesting with the three things connected. Almost makes you think about the three Apollo astronauts. But, I don't know. It's just weird it being here. And this is a weird symbol, too. Almost looks like an insect. Anyways, this is a mirror shot right here. Jack's in the mirror right now. And if we watch this... well, I'm sorry. I didn't get that shot. Okay. Anyways, Jack says, I've never been this happy or comfortable anywhere else. Jack is talking about shooting 2001. And I know right now you're like, no, he's talking about the hotel. Well, watch what he says later on and you'll see why. She's saying, I thought it was kind of scary. Jack says, I fell in love with it right away. When I came up here for my interview, it was as though I'd been here before. In other words, the interview was Apollo 11. Well, he had already shot 2001, so Apollo 11, wouldn't have been too bad of too much of a difference from shooting 2001. I've already shot 2001 before. Then shooting Apollo won't be that big a deal. Keep on going with the conversation. I mean, we've all had moments of deja vu. You mean like you've been here before? You've done it before? You've shot moon landings before? Yes, I shot moon landings on 2001. I can shoot them on this. But this was ridiculous. This was not deja vu. This was real. It was almost as though I knew it was going to be around every corner. I shot every scene in 2001. Why wouldn't you think I could shoot every scene in the moon landings? That's what he's saying. It was the exact same thing virtually. I knew how to shoot the moon landings because I shot 2001. And as soon as he says this, what's the very next? This is the very next shot of that appears, and that is Jack's typewriter, and a fade shot. Jack is the typewriter. Jack is the typewriter does what Jack says, which I mean is obvious, but more importantly, Kubrick has aligned him in that thing. One thing I want you to notice, I hope I have a shot of it. No, I don't. Is that the typewriter is white, and also the typewriter has an eagle on it. There's an eagle. There's apparently a German company typewriter, and it has the word Adler, Adler, on it. Adler is the German word for eagle. So this is all eagle related. The Eagle Moonlander capsule that Buzz Aldrin and Armstrong landed on the moon. Okay, this is a very interesting shot. I noticed there is the sculpture here. It's still here. I just wanted to mention that. What's interesting about this shot is this motif here. And what's interesting about this motif is, yeah, they look like people, but these are some bizarre-ass people. And yeah, I guess those are dresses, but those are pretty tall shirts. Hey, if you cut that head off, these look like rockets. People are like, yeah, those are people. Those aren't rockets. Well, here's another problem. Have you ever seen blue corn? This is a corn stalk. The hell is blue corn doing next to people? There's green corn. I mean, I don't know. I'm not from Kansas or whatever. I've not seen every single corn. Maybe there is a blue stalk of corn, but everything I've seen in the movies and actually in real life when I'm eating corn is it's yellow, it's green, and it's kind of white. The sheath sometimes gets white. Well, why is the corn here blue? Well, because these are representation of rockets. And the corn, blue, well, what else is blue that rockets fly into? The sky. The blue corn is the sky, and these are 4 rockets. And people are like, no, I don't think so. Well, one thing that Jack is doing right now, which is amazing that he would not think it would damage something, he's throwing a tennis ball at this mural right here. And if you watch the movie, again, I'm sorry, other people have done this, and I didn't figure this out. Somebody else figured it out. Again, a lot of these things that I'm telling you, I didn't figure. I mean, I knew that these looked like rockets before, and I'm the one who figured out about I haven't seen anybody talk about the blue corn representing the sky to confirm that these are rockets. But Jack is bouncing the tennis ball against. Jack is bouncing the tennis ball against this motif, and he bounces it. We can see it bounce only 10 times, but if you listen, there are 11 bounces. So these are the Apollo 11 rockets that Jack is playing with, and we're going to see playing quite a bit. Remember the baseball behind Danny's head at the very beginning of the movie. There was also a Mitt. I'm sorry I didn't point it out. When there was that clown with the bubble, I'm sorry I forgot to point it out. You'll have to see it again. And I'm not saying that to get more hits on my movie. I'm sorry. As you can tell, I have a lot to say here. But anyways, if you look at that clown's head, right by the clown's head is a mitt, and it actually gets rotated. The mitt gets rotated up right by the clown head bubble there when between the two shots. If you look back at that movie lecture. Anyway, so Jack is playing with the tennis ball against this. He's playing with the rockets there, and the number of bounces is 11. Even though you only see 10, you actually hear 11 bounces if you watch the movie. Alrighty. Here's a fade shot. The Wendy and Danny look like they're running out of the fireplace. If you look at the fade shot right there, it's kind of interesting. Look what I think Wendy says this. The loser has to keep America clean. How's that? I'm sorry, I've never heard that vernacular. Maybe it's a 1930s vernacular, but I can imagine what keep America clean means is make sure America's image isn't destroyed by everybody knowing that we faked the moon landing. And the loser has to keep America clean. You know, if you keep America clean, you're a loser. If you keep America's image clean by lying, you're a loser. I don't know what this. All right, and you're going to lose. Coming close, and this is what Danny says. Loser has to keep America clean. And there's a tracking shot to the maze right here. Interesting enough, this is not a picture of the actual maze, so I don't know what this is. It even says the Overlook Maze. This is not the picture. We're going to see the maze, two different representations, one in the hotel and one we're going to see the Kubrick has shot the maze from a helicopter shot or whatever, actually a shot from an apartment complex. We'll see that later on, but this image is not the image of this maze, so if you read this and try to do the maze, you'll stay in there forever. Alright, let's see what we got here. Keep America clean, Danny says, twice. So that's 3 times. Keep America's image clean. And you can do that by not doing the real maze, not doing the real puzzle, doing the simple puzzle. This is the simple puzzle. You will see later on the puzzle's a lot. Making things simple, you'll keep America's image clean. By simplifying, by not doing the actual really tough, the tough maze, the real maze. The really landing on the moon would be amazingly complex, as you will see from the maze. Here is Jack with the tennis ball in his hand, and he's about to throw it down this hallway. There's a tricycle, and there's an assortment of toys, some ball here and whatever. Jack is through playing here, and he's about to throw the ball down the hallway. So let's watch him throw. It's a yellow tennis ball, by the way, that he was throwing. So yellow, fake. He was faking the Apollo rockets that were on the wall there. There he is throwing the ball. This is actually the pre-shot of that. I love this shot because it's another fade shot, and people who tell me, if there's a lot of comments going, no way Wendy is Jack, just look at this one shot. Jack, Wendy, Danny. I mean, give me a break. This is Stanley Kubrick. All three people. All three people are Stanley Kubrick. It makes the most sense. Why would Stanley bring, another person? Everyone's like, no, Wendy's his real wife, Christiana. No. If Christiana really acted like Wendy in this movie, Stanley would have never made any of his movies. He would have killed her or something, or whatever, as we'll see later on. There's Jack. You have this clear shot of the yellow tennis ball right there. He's about to throw it down the hallway. He's done playing. He's ready to work. He's ready to do what Ullman hired him to do. And this is what Ullman hired him to do, whether he said it or not. This is the maze. And as you can tell from this maze, there's no way this maze representation was the picture representation. Here's this. That's much more complex. And we're about to see the real maze right here. I'm sorry. This is the maze that's out there, but now these are both representations of the mazes, but now we're about to see the real maze. Yeah, this maze and the map maze that we saw are representations of the real maze, and they're complex, but they're simple. You know what I mean? But we're about to see the real maze. So look at this, and now watch the next scene. Look at that. That is not this right here. That is 1,000 times more complex than this. So really landing on the moon would mean solving this. Faking to land on the moon will be doing, solving this, which is doable. Jack is gonna do this. Jack is not gonna do this. This is where Wendy and Danny are. They're dreamers. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be able to do this. I didn't think it was going to be this big, did you? Wendy asks. Alright, the hotel. 12, 2, and 1. Mirror. 1, 2, 12. 21. Mirror of 12. What do we got going on? 24-year-old Susan Robertson missing for 10 days. I don't know. Who's going to eat all that fruit cocktail? My God. When he pours enough fruit cocktail for 20 people. Kind of bizarre. One thing I want to mention about this television set is I think it's supposed to represent the real thing, because I think we can see the cord right here if you look at the cord. Later on we're going to see another television set with definitely no cord. But I think there's the cord. It'd be interesting to see if Kubrick intended that thing. I don't know. Maybe that's the cord, maybe it's not. But Kubrick is definitely not telling you it's not, this is cordless TV, which, by the way, there were no cordless TVs in the 80s for human use. I'm sorry, for people use. There might have the president might have had one. Okay, Danny goes on a bike ride and goes to room 237 and stops in front of it. By the way, interesting thing about this is that if you look at your timer in the movie, when this scene occurs, it's right around almost exactly within 10 seconds to the 42-minute mark. 2 times 3 times 7, 42. When does Danny get here? Exactly 42 minutes after the movie starts. So give me a break. That wasn't an accident. All right, there's Danny looking at room 237. He tries to open room 237, but it's locked. Why is it locked? Well, in his mind, he sees the Gemini project is still going on. One thing I want you to notice about this is there's no lights in the thing. I know right now you're like, who cares if there's no lights in the window? Who cares? Well, it's remember that, and I'll try to remind you later on. We have a scene with that. But anyways, so Danny shines and sees the twins. The twins are the Gemini project that NASA's going on, and so he's not allowed to go into the room 237, which is 237 237,000 miles from the Earth. This is the moon. He's not allowed to fake the moon landing, and nobody's allowed to go into room 237 because Gemini is still going on. It hasn't come to an end. The Gemini project of NASA that comes before Apollo. All right, let's stop here.